Let's get it. We back at it live. We had a Matrix attack, but we bringing you another episode back to back. That's like 10 minutes apart. You cannot stop us. We're going to keep going. They tried to attack us and tried to get us to throw the towel in tonight, but we're back fighting like we never fucking left. Let's get it. 5-star live stream. It's your boy High Demand _ Tez Unplugged on a couple platforms. We back at it. Let's get it.
Hell yes. Back at it. If you guys didn't see, this is part 2 of part 1. We were in the live Matrix attack, but we're about to recap our fellow dating relationship YouTuber, Casey Zander, over here. And he's got some really good points, man. We broke down the Bible. We broke down Genesis. We broke down purpose. We broke down romance, intuition, learning, intellect. And now you're about to get it with the part 2. Let's play this.
That most men have been sold, okay? Now, the second false belief that you've probably been told is this. Women mature faster than men, okay? So they know what's best. This is what you've probably been told. You'd hear this all the time. Even me, I heard this growing up in school. Oh, your mind isn't as developed yet. Women mature way faster than men, okay? What you'll see is this is oftentimes completely false. Women spend all of their 20s, okay, a lot of times making decisions that they regret in their 30s and 40s. Women spend essentially all of their 20s most of the time with the wrong men, and then they oftentimes only choose to mature when they either get old, okay, or they have kids, so they start to understand what life is actually like, okay, or on top of that, their looks just start to decline, so now they have to mature, okay? So this is what you're going to find. You're going to hear this belief constantly curated or talked about. Women mature faster than men, so they know what's best, okay? Listen to me very closely. I don't think there is really any proof to that. So, you know what? You have good, strong, rational, masculine male intellect. Trust your own judgment, and you have to understand how to make your own decisions. So as a man, this is what I want you to know going into this video. God gave you rational male intellect, so you need to start to use it. You know when something is complete bullshit and when it's not. Step into that. Don't be ashamed of that. That's your internal radar saying, hey, I don't think that this is true. Hey, I think that there's a better way to do this. Hey, I think I know what's best. Hey, I have enough confidence to trust my own judgment. That's how we're going to start this video. Now that we got that out of the way, now...
Love it. All right, so I could start it off by just saying I don't know why this isn't more talked about, but yes, women maturing faster than men, that isn't going to happen in a mental way, but in a biological, physiological way, yeah, a woman will have her growth spurt before a guy. She'll become taller than men before men experience their growth spurt. And there's a biological reason for this. Women are designed to be flowers, and you are designed to be cedars. A woman hits her fertile sexual maturity between the ages of 18 and 24. Between the ages of 18 and 24, she's ready to be seeded. She's ready to procreate. She is ready to be a complement to your life. She is ready to blossom as a full-blown woman. Remember, a woman is a trust fund baby. Her value is handed to her up front, and she must be handed off to a man who's probably later is going to take time to mature. He's going to be... or it's going to take time for him. He'll have maturity throughout his life at earlier stages for sure, because remember that video that I just sent you where that little boy is just boxing and he's hitting that tree and he's going all in on it? Like, he's already getting ready to start defending. And when you're moving like that, you're starting to perceive the world in a much faster way, in a way that women never have to perceive the world. They just don't. They don't need that. It's because they don't need it. They're not going to respect it or understand it or do it or utilize it. But unfortunately, to Casey Zander's point over here, when it comes to women that are in the modern day, unfortunately, while men in the exact same age range in their 20s are doing what they can to battle and combat the fact that they're born poor and they need to fight like crazy to earn money and they need to scrape by just to get a dollar in order to be somewhat attractive, in order to be dateable. And more people are relying on their families, and more people are relying on the income of the previous generations. And it's becoming more and more difficult to be your own man and set your own way and your own path. A man is doing everything in his resourcefulness to accumulate value. And women are, in that same age range, devaluing themselves, throwing away their value, destroying their worth, which is tied up into their purity. If a woman has traveled, we as men hate that. It destroys your purity. Where you've traveled is tied into your virginity. So if she's all over the place and she's having sex with everybody, she is dwindling in value. And she doesn't care in the modern day about the fact that she's dwindling in value because she's receiving male attention. And when a woman stops receiving less of that male attention that she is so addicted to, which is usually around in her 30s and 40s, then she starts to realize, oh, I've hit the wall. All these new young bunnies are seeding the current dating market. And because all the men are giving them all the attention, I need to compete, and I'm going to compete by taking a lot of pictures or putting my sexuality out there. Or like a lot of them will believe in delusions more too. You know, like that's when you'll see like conversations where women say stuff like, I could have had this man who was a millionaire. I could have had that man who was a billionaire. I could have had this man who was a trillionaire. And because I could have had all these things, that's my value. That's who I am. I'm so important. I'm so worth it. I'm so smart. I'm so PhD delicious. Look at me. I deserve a cheese dome. I'm smart. I'm better. Yo, that shout out to Billy. That is funny as F. And actually, what you're seeing is, if we're going to just call it what it is, women do not mature faster than men. If we're going to call it what it is in the modern day, women lose their value precipitously. Women lose their value at an alarming rate. And while they're losing their value at an alarming rate and throwing themselves to the harsh realities of society and be engaging in more prostitute culture, while they're losing this value, they are forming a psychological superstructure of delusion around their brain. And by the time that they've gotten older, they believe so much in their own lies and their own delusion and their own fluff language of other women that they are equivalent to a walking, talking retard at best. Unfortunately, by the time that you sit down with this individual, you are sitting with someone who is so disconnected and far removed from reality that you cannot reason or enter a relationship with the majority of women that operate in this way, because they have checked out, homie. They're not going to come to you with traditional values at all. They are not going to say to you, yes, I will cook for you and clean for you and be your woman.
Or I will not go out there. I'm going to go out there and take care of you. I'm going to make sure that I'm there by your side. I'm going to be your right hand. I'm going to be at your bed. I'm going to take care of you when you're sick. I'm going to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. I'm going to have your offspring. I'm going to have your kids. I am going to take care of you, honey. It's going to be the exact opposite. It's going to be, no, I have a PhD. I know my value. You know who I am. And she's going to turn into like
masculine on you, unfortunately. She's going to thug it up on you. She's going to be like,
we're equal. We do what I say we do. I'm the leader. 50-50. If you don't play on my terms, I don't even need you. I could have Elon Musk tomorrow. You know what Elon Musk said to me? He tweeted me. He was in my DMs. He gives me attention. I'm so important. I can have sex with anybody. And that's my value. And they're not going to pump me and dump me like all the other men. He wants me.
Yo, am I tripping, bro?
That is a fact, bro. That was fire. That was some fire shit. And yeah, that's a fact. And people conflate maturity, it's all a psyop with that shit, with the maturity shit. Yes, from a mating perspective, women mature faster than men. Not from a human perspective. Women get their main commodity faster than men get their main commodity. Women get ass, tits. They're more attractive when they're younger. As a man, it takes you time to get your value, whether your career, you building resources. So yes, in a mating perspective, women mature faster than men when it comes to sex and having their offspring. Yes, that is true. But from a human perspective, no, it's really about the same time. The minute that girls are losing their value because they're getting older, that's when they start maturing, like Chris was saying. And men start to really mature in their 30s, and not even mature, but start to really get their access resources in their 30s and understand life. So it's really about the same from a human perspective. But from a mating perspective, yes, women get their main commodity faster than men get theirs, and everyone conflates that with women mature faster than men, and that really starts early. So men start looking up to women early because there's that whole big lie psyop that women mature faster than men. So men are thinking that women are superior to them because they mature faster, but in reality, they just mature faster from a mating perspective, not a human perspective.
Yes, sir. Yo, that was bars. That was
that
fire. I'm ready for the next point, man. Let's go on to the next topic. Let's rock.
Now we can actually talk about the 10 lies that women have told you or have attempted to convince you of, or whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. These are going to be the 10 things that you're going to find. So the first lie, or the first essentially like lie or false belief you were probably told, okay, would be that her past, okay, and the guys that she dated in the past, or her potential body count doesn't matter. Listen to me closely. You have to understand this on a deep level. Women are hypergamous, which means women only want the best, okay? And women's emotions gravitate towards who is that best. And on top of that, she has real world and real life experience, so she can analyze for herself who was the best. So keep that in mind. Women are hypergamous, so you need to think of it this way, okay? Let's say you're dating a woman and she's 28, okay? And let's say she lost her V card, or she had her first boyfriend at 18. Okay? That's 10 years of men. 10 years. Okay? 10 years of dating history. Now, this is what I can tell you. Out of those 10 years of dating, if you're dating a woman who's 28, and she has been dating since she was 18, out of those 10 years of dating, she likes one guy the best. Out of all those guys, all the dudes who were trying to talk to her at the bar, all the dudes that she met on a dating app, all the dudes that she met, at the club, whatever, she likes one guy the best, just one. She likes one of those guys the best. The chances that it's actually you, listen, the chances that it's actually you is slim to none, absolutely slim to none, and here's why. You will get into a long-term relationship with this type of woman, or with one of these women that has a past where you're not her best, and dating them or being in that relationship with them is going to be like a living hell. It is going to be like a living hell because you will constantly be compared to somebody who is better.
Fair use, fair use. You can let the commercial play if you need to let that point keep going there. But when we let the commercial play, if we turn down the volume and not give those ad people their advertising revenue time, that is fine. But we can plug an advertisement in between. Shout out to 5 Star, man. Make sure that you guys like, share, subscribe to 5 Star. You need to be on every one of our social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all those good things. Make sure you're hitting us on Tez Unplugged. And there is so much more value in the links in the description below. Make sure you know, after you watch this show, where to go.
Locked down for a long-term relationship, you will constantly be compared to what life could have been if she would have been with that guy. And she will always have contempt for you. She will always dislike you slightly. She will always be pissed off that she's even with you in the first place. Dating a woman, okay, who has had a better man than you in her past is a recipe for disaster, because she will never look at you with true, genuine desire like she did that guy, because she knows what she can have. Okay, it's just like if you were to date, let's say, a really, really, really hot woman. Okay, and let's say things dissolved, or things fell out, the relationship dissolved or whatever. Any woman that you meet that's not at or above that level of attractiveness, you're going to know what you could have had. Okay, so keep that in mind. With women, this is even amplified more because of hypergamy. So always keep that in mind, okay? This is the very first lie that you're probably told. Number 2.
I'll let you start off with that one, big dog.
Yeah, that's a fact. You're going to be compared. You don't want a girl with the past that's been a 3 or 4 because the chances, like you said, of you being that guy is slim. So you want to find a girl who doesn't have a past and who is young and doesn't have a past. So that way you're not fucking being compared like that and you can have the imprint on her. That's really what it is. So you want a girl with less experience so you can be her experience, be her portal to the world and be it that way. So, yeah.
Bro, 100%. This point is one of the biggest points that I've made on 5-star. You know what I mean? A woman's past absolutely does matter. A woman's past determines everything. In today's society, we live in such a society where the average person is so disillusioned from their own actions that they are using lies and fluff to cover up their actions, to make like this language so flowery and so okay for what they're doing. I think about this shit all the time, dude. Like, I remember one time I was just like walking down the elevator or like walking downstairs taking the elevator, and I thought to myself, I hate when women say her past don't matter. Like, this goes through my head all the time, bro. Like, I cannot stand this shit. And I've felt this way since, I don't want to say like middle school. Like, I've always hated this shit. You know what I mean? So what it comes down to is that as men, you need to understand that we are all suffering this epidemic together. But I'll say it here. It's not all hopeless, man. It's not all hopeless. I have another show that you need to tune into where I really talk about how to find the right things, vet out the right people, and how to let love blossom and assign real value to real people that really matter. That is where I want you guys to be, because it is an unfair position to be in. There is hope. You can vet the right people. If you listen to 5-star, it's not all doom and gloom out there. And I want you to know that I put a lot of time into prefacing that for you guys to understand that I know what you're feeling and I know what you're going through, but there is solution. Now, that being said, let's go right back into digging into these 3 or 4s and their disgusting past actions and what they did to ruin their life. Every girl says the same thing. I want a man who's only for me.
Yo, pitch me up. Pitch me up! I want a man who's only for me! I want a man who's my man and my man alone, because I deserve one man. Even though I know it is not in a man's sexual proclivities to want one girl, and all of my habits literally convey that. Women line up for basketball players, and they're happy to share that one meat. But, like, if they really wanted a guy who was monogamous and only wanted to worship them and their big ego and their big pedestal, go take the guy at Walmart. That guy at the cash register is looking for some monogamy. He would be glad to have some monogamy. He would do everything to worship your stupid bitch ego just like you like.
But when it comes down to like, yo, Billy, you go with the pitching. When it comes down to like a woman rationalizing her past actions, right? Like women, all of them know. They all attack each other's body counts. They all attack each other's sexual past. They all attack each other's sexual behavior. But women today don't want to come to terms with the fact that they've outpriced their value to other men. And by not sticking with those men, they immediately are putting themselves in a pump and dump situation in this modern dating economy. So a girl will walk up to a guy and say, you don't treat me how I'm supposed to be treated. I'm going to go find another guy who's going to treat me how I'm supposed to be treated, only to find the next guy does the same thing over and over because she's attracted to the guy that keeps pumping and dumping her. So we live in this pump and dump culture, and women are on the hamster wheel of perpetual worthlessness. Now, if you are a woman out there, I'm going to give you the best sauce that I can give you. The best sauce that I can give you is shut the fuck up, ignore your feelings, pick and stick to one man, and don't like just tell him everything that he wants to hear. Don't talk. Shut the fuck up. Sex, silence, and sandwiches all the way through. There is no hope for you. There is no hope for you unless you do what I have just said. Sex, silence, sandwiches, and pick and stick to a guy that maybe you vetted out with other people in your community. Maybe like you, because you're a dumb woman, you can't figure this shit out. Maybe you should talk to your dad. Maybe you should talk to your uncle. Maybe you should talk to your family. Maybe you should have a couple men in your community be like, yo, is this guy right for me? And these are the principles that I was putting into Matchmaker. It's very important that you, like, a woman gets involved with like, yo, I feel feelings for this guy. And I'm speaking now into an earlier stage of her life, right? Like, I'm feeling feelings for this guy, and I really want to explore this romance. Is this the right guy for me? And listen, when you start asking around, other people are very good at determining the value of your relationship. Other people are very good at determining your worth. And unfortunately, ladies, like, if you see women, and this is why I want women to ask men about men. I want women to have men vetting men. But like, if you're a girl, unfortunately, and if your girlfriends are tearing down the guy, they might be jealous of what you've achieved, and they might want that guy for themselves. That's just the unfortunate savage nature of female behavior, you know? But yeah, no, her past absolutely matters. If you are in high school or like middle school or in college or in any of the early years of dating, and you've heard people say, her past doesn't matter, she could do whatever she wants, it's her body, her choice, she's like, just all this like perpetual pedestalizing language to put her above when she is literally putting herself below is an absurdity. It's an absurdity for you to play with that. It's an absurdity for you to engage with that. So Tez on the last episode, I believe, or recently, actually said, you know, listen, there's a very good way to vet this out. And it's very true, Tez. It's very true what you said. Don't necessarily go up to a girl and say, hey, what's your body count? Because I am looking for the Carfax and I need to know the mileage on this vehicle if I'm going to give it the full long-term relationship. Am I leasing this pussy or not? You know, you said basically like, listen, what you need to do as a man is you need to get your experience up. And when you get your experience up, you're going to know how female behavior is and how female nature is. And in your understanding of female nature and behavior, what you then do is you observe the woman, you see how she responds to you, your leadership, you see how she responds to what you say and do. And in regard to her responses, you're able to determine where she falls, if she really is ready for a relationship or if she's really not.
Definitely, yeah. Because if you ask them if you check out the hoe facts, they're gonna just lie to you. So that doesn't make any sense. So you need to get your experience up, and so you can look at her and assess if she's been with a lot of guys or not. And you should be able to determine that by the subtle ways of her behavior and how she moves. So don't be asking girls their body counts and whatnot, because they're gonna lie to you every time. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if a girl asks you how much money you have in your bank account, are you gonna say I have $1, or are you gonna say no? I mean, that would just be stupid. Unless you're just talking shit. But like, the same way that you're gonna probably inflate your numbers, she's gonna deflate hers. So don't be that guy. And they're gonna try to say you're insecure for caring about her past. You're just insecure. No, they're just weaponizing that against you, and it's gonna make you worse if you listen to that. Because some guys are out there thinking like, I don't care about her body count because I'm secure. No, you are completely. You caring about her body count actually makes you secure, because you are securing your resources, your future. If you're a guy who doesn't care, you are actually insecure. And then in the future, she's going to make your finances, your resources very insecure, because all that shit's going to get wiped out, because she's going to either divorce you or leave you, because she's had so much experience with other guys. So it's interesting. The more you're insecure up front, the more it's going to make you insecure on the back end by her leaving you and taking your resources. So be secure, because you're securing your future. You're securing everything that you have, all your assets, resources. You're securing your well-being, your mental health, all that. So don't be out here just accepting anything, because next thing you know, your life's going to be hell because you've decided to choose the wrong girl.
Yeah, man. I actually put something on Twitter that I found and I reposted, right? And it's really good. So go check out Life of Chris Live on Twitter if you want to see it, or X, or whatever you want to call it, right? But like here it says, the right woman will advance you and the wrong woman will destroy you. Start at Proverbs 31, and bar for bar, it will tell you the exact traits of a perfect wife. Keep those traits in mind while dating, and it will save you time, money, and heartbreak. So this is exactly why her past matters, because the thing about women is that when they get pumped and dumped by men, they absorb the masculinity of the nature of men. So when you're dealing with a woman who's dealt with the nature of men, she's now absorbed masculinity. And the most unattractive thing about a woman is anything masculine. That's why I tell you girls all the time, be a freaking cheerleader. Fit, feminine, friendly. We don't want to hear shit that you have to say at all, ever. Ever. I don't give a fuck what brunch you went to, what experience you had at your job, what you've done at the office, what you talked about with Sally, what you're doing. I don't give a fuck about you and your birds or your hobbies or your fucking butterflies or what you wrote in a notebook one day or how you felt about that one interaction with Sarah one time. We literally never want to fucking hear you, ever. So get this, right? Now, in this meme that's on X, this woman is holding an umbrella in the rain. This guy is like bummed out in the corner. She says, "You're a weak man." He goes, "Maybe she's right." Then, this other girl's like, "Yeah, life is hard." Then she gets down and she just empathizes with him for a moment. Then it goes on to show from Proverbs 31:3, do not waste your strength on women who ruin kings. And that's really good advice. So now this other woman comes up to him and says, "Get up. God got us and I love you." And then this is the first time that he goes, you P31 for real? Like you Psalm 30 or Proverbs 31 for real? And then it says, she opens her mouth with wisdom and the teachings of kindness is on her tongue. Which is why I've always said on the show, for both women and men, when you speak to each other in a relationship, you got to speak from a place of love. Love is another word for Jesus. Like you need to speak with purpose. You need to speak with intent. It has to be that when you do assign a woman relationship value and she is now in a relationship with you, that you guys are speaking to each other in a place of that love that I'm talking about, versus like the modern day teaches you to tear each other down, tear each other down, tear each other down. If you do that a couple times, there's just nothing left. So one thing that I'll say about this particular story here is that it's very important that if you're watching this show, I'm glad Casey brought this up. This is a lot of good points. So you see how the past experiences matters to how it plays out in the future. So now there's a story I'll tell you guys, right? There's a story of a kid who was always an F student, right? And he got an F on a test one day, so everyone in the class called him an F student. His teacher called him an F student. And every time that he took a test, he would become an F student. Like he would just fail the class, fail the test. And he adopted that as his personality. Like, this is what I've been told, so this is who I am. And unfortunately, there are a lot of sensitive or untrained minds, or people whose heart and mind is in the right place, but they might have been told something that leads them off the path or down the wrong identity of the wrong values. And then one day, substitute teacher walks into class and says to that guy, "Hey man, you're going to kill it today. You're definitely going to get an A." And in that moment, that was the first time that student believed that he would get an A. And he did. And that getting that A changed that student's life. From that moment, when he felt the praise and the reward and the winningness of getting an A, he went on to do better in school because he believed he could do better now, because one person said the right thing to him at the right time. And from getting A's and doing better in class, he did better in college, and he put himself in a career trajectory that put him on a path that led to success, because one person believed in him. And I want you guys to know that, like, I completely understand where you're coming from in today's dating market. It is a bad place. You are dealing with girls who are throwing their value out the window every time that you hop on the phone, you're probably going on Instagram, and Sarah or Leslie or Jessica or Sally that you knew in school is now an OnlyFans model, which is nothing short of a digital prostitute. So I know that you might have had feelings for her, and you might have envisioned a life with her or a future with her or had a crush on her, and she's completely available to everybody. And that does destroy your affections, because your affections are now being used in the wrong place. And I know that because you're surrounded by people, and women are moving around freely on boats and doing whatever they want, but you're moving one step at a time, just like a chessboard, just like a king on a chessboard. You're moving one space at a time. You're only able to see the women that are in your area. You're only able to do with what you can, with what you have. And you meet the girl, and then sometimes after that, she slowly pretty much reveals to you that she's been dogged out by everybody. You're going to end up in a place where there's a lot of lonely nights. Or there's a lot of nights where you've now come to determine that the majority of these women are on a roster of somebody else's design, and you don't want any part of that. You want real love. You want a girl that nobody knows. You want a real relationship. You want somebody that you can leave your imprint on, do the best for, and leave and mold. And unfortunately, that is not how the sexual dating market outwardly displays itself today. But if you hold on, if you keep vetting, if you keep trying, if you put in that effort, if you believe in yourself, I know there's definitely, at least at some point in time, one girl out there who shows you that friendliness, that kindness, who is a Proverbs 31 woman. The femininity is so powerful that it can change your entire life. So stay aware and completely be receptive to the fact that it could exist in one of them.
Definitely, 100%. And that's a fact, bro. Don't fucking date girls that are hoes and then have a past. Let's watch the video.
Let's go.
Okay, the second lie that you're going to be told is this. You are the only guy I'm talking to, or you are the only guy that I'm dating. You're going to hear women say this. Maybe you met a woman on a dating app. Maybe you met her out and about, wherever. It was at a party or something. Women are truly never single because of the amount of options and the amount of attention that they get. The amount of options that they have and the amount of attention that they get will obviously dictate their dating capabilities. Well, if you're dating a woman or you're seeing a woman who is attractive, she has so many men, probably hundreds of men in that city who would love to date her. So keep that in mind. If she says you're the only guy I'm talking to or dating, this is what you have to know, and this is what you have to understand. If you are not in a relationship, meaning a committed long-term relationship, where you two are officially a couple, and she's dating you the way that you're wanting, meaning that she is sweet to you, loyal to you, feminine to you, you're in a real long-term relationship. If you're not in a relationship, she's more than likely dating multiple men and a lot of times sleeping with multiple men. This is what you have to know, and this is what you have to understand, and here's why. Let me show you how this goes. Let's say she's been dating a guy for 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, let's say she's been seeing a guy for about 6 weeks. She's sleeping with him. And then let's say since she's not in a relationship or she's not committed to him, she's just seeing him, okay? This is just a guy that she's seeing for the time being. Well, then what happens? I'll tell you what happens. Let's say she goes out to the club with her friends or something that Friday, and let's say she meets a dude, and she really likes him, and that night, those two end up hooking up. Well,
is your healthy eating routine?
And make sure that you're following us at 5-star on all possible platforms. We are on Kick, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We are on Pandora. We're on Spotify. Follow us and find us everywhere.
Into him. And maybe she talks to that guy that she met at the club for a couple weeks, a couple months. Regardless, maybe she wants to see him outside of that interaction. What you have to understand is it's just not true. The amount of options that women have, listen, the more she also has other options and in the past has slept with multiple options, this is what you have to remember. To her, it's almost like part of her is desensitized to where sleeping with a new dude for her doesn't really mean a whole lot of anything. So that's what you have to remember. When she says you're the only guy that I'm talking to or that I'm dating, your best bet is just to not trust what was said at all. You can smile. You can say, oh yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. Yeah, good. Oh, cool. Oh, really? Wow. But internally, you know what's up. Internally, you know it's the right decision. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, okay. When she says something like loyalty is the most important trait to me, this is a lot of times just a complete lie, and here's why.
All right, so you're the only guy, right? Let me ask you a question, Tez. Why is it that, we live in the modern day and women are so sexually liberated? They're so free. They can do whatever they want with their bodies. If they want an abortion, they can do that. If their body count doesn't matter, they can do that. So why would she even attempt to say that you're the only guy? Why wouldn't she just openly tell you about all of the many dicks that she's taken or taking when she's talking to you?
A girl saying that you're the only guy, can't even imagine how that would even come about. Like, how does that conversation even start? Like, you're the only guy. Unless you ask her, and if you're asking a girl, am I the only guy you're talking to, then you already lost. So I'm trying to think, when would that ever even come up in a relationship?
Because we approach things so, correct. We know how to shape these things ahead of time. But, I would imagine you an imp, right? So you're in an imp situation, and basically the conversation probably went like this, hey, so we taking things serious now? You talking to anybody? Something like that. There's got to be something like that, right? As a dude, you should know what you're hunting for. You should know what you're securing. You should kind of have figured that out. But, keep in mind, these dudes are swiping. They're meeting on Tinder, Hinge, Bumble. And I've said on the podcast many times before, if you're going to take a girl seriously, you kill her social media, you kill her contacts. The only person that she's friends with is you alone. And if you're going to take on multiple girls, they all run through the same phones, same Apple ID, treat that shit like an employee network, essentially. You have to make sure that these women don't pursue their options, because most men don't understand. A woman knows she is not friends with anybody. The woman knows that. She knows that when she said the word friend, that when the word friend left her mouth, she really meant backup plan option. He was nice to me. I'm going to go explore that if you're out the picture. If you're not in this shit, if it's not working for me, if your money goes down, or if the lifestyle makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable, or if I'm insecure about this, I know that Fred or Ted or Jimmy or that guy that's liking her posts, or that guy that's going through her stories, any of them are watching what you do, which is a chink in your armor, which is destroying your fortress, which is destroying your castle, which is destroying your kingship, because men can't get access to you through your women ever. So, you have to understand that and the girl will deny this, but every man that she's ever encountered ever is an option for real. A woman can literally walk outside and choose any man. Women have so much options, it's insane. A woman could go outside right now and not even open her mouth. She could rub a guy's arm and be mopey and be sad. And a guy will just take her in his home and do some of the fucking, and he'll secure her and he'll take her and he'll have her. So because a woman's ability to secure a relationship is so easy, whereas your ability to determine and secure a relationship is so hard, the way in which you vet a woman out is insanely, it has to be methodical. It has to be well thought out. It has to be planned. It has to be something that you're serious about. It has to be something that you're willing to take in. So when you deal with women, I would say that, unfortunately, just like I said in the point before this, her past does not matter. Her past absolutely does matter. You need to be able to vet out who she knows, who she talks to, what she's dealing with, who's in her life. You need to take full control of her digital life. You need to take full control of her physical life. You need to fully integrate her into your business. You need to fully integrate her into your real life. She needs to really be an extension of you for real, on your program, on your timeline, in your world, on your hustle, for you to bring her in She has no friends. She talks to no men. The only men that she's ever allowed to speak to is a man that you say that she's allowed to speak to. Now, let's talk about that real quick. Let's say that you took my advice and you formed a brotherhood. The brotherhood of men that you're able to have around you, they should know off rip. They will never touch your girl because that's the kind of men that you surround yourself with. But if you are around men that are so thirsty that they would do anything for a girl and they would violate you and they would do anything with your girl, that kind of man is not only someone you should not let the girl talk to, but that kind of man is someone that you should not talk to, because that man is willing to destroy your life and your peace and everything that you're about just for some vag. Now, let's say that things were just really bad for you and you didn't follow any of this advice, and you have a girl and your girl had sex with your friend or whatever, right? Do you remember a girl was on this podcast talking about, oh, just because a guy says she
Slept with the homie, and now she's just seen as someone who slept with the homie. She's out of there. She's not good all of a sudden. And I'm really sitting there like, bro, I'm
literally sitting there like in shock that bitch just said that to my face, because you could tell that when the girl said that, she slept with someone's friend. You can tell. You could just know by looking at her and how she's phrasing this that she slept with some dude's friend. So, like, you see, this shit, like that Bible verse that I was just showing you, the right girl can speed up your life and make it amazing and lead you to the path of greatness, but the wrong women can destroy your life. The Bible literally says it's better to live on the roof of your house out in the hail and the snow and the sleet and the storms and the thunder than to deal with a bad woman, essentially.
Hell yeah. And if you're not the best version of yourself and you're kind of still figuring shit out, chances are your girl, she's probably fucking around on you or doing other shit. So if you're a guy who you don't believe you're the best, or you don't even have that confidence in yourself, 9 times out of 10, she doesn't either. So don't be expecting her to behave this certain type of way if you're not even that guy. So that's one thing too.
Yeah, he was just saying something about loyalty. Producer Billy, go ahead and let's run that back.
See, this in real life is how this happens, okay? If she says loyalty is the most important, in real life, let me give you an example. Let's say you have a dude and he sleeps with this one specific woman, or they're dating, or they're in a relationship. Isn't it funny how all of a sudden all of her friends naturally have interest in you? Isn't it funny how the rest of the world, okay, or the women that see you with this woman would love to have the opportunity to be with you? This is just not true. When she says loyalty is the most important, here's what you'll notice. A lot of times when a woman sees that you can attract her or you can attract other women want to start sleeping with you, which lets you know that this is just not true. Women's dating preferences are oftentimes way more superficial than you're taught to believe. You're taught to believe that it's about being caring and being loyal and being nice, and what you're going to see in the real world play out is that it's typically attractive men, or it is typically really good looking men, or it is typically men who have personality traits that on paper she would say this is not favorable or this is negative, but this is the guy that she's sleeping with. Okay, it's going to be the guy who's typically self-centered or selfish or only cares about what he wants. This is going to be the guy that women tend to reward. So if she tells you loyalty is the most important, what you're going to find is that women will happily share a dude.
The new Auto-Tune 2026.
And yeah, make sure that you check us out. 5-Star is lit on all these platforms. We are, like I said, Facebook, Twitter. I love this plug, man. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to 5-Star on YouTube. Make sure you find us on Rumble. We are everywhere out here.
Yes, sir.
High status, or when she sees him as attractive. So this is what you're going to find is she'll say like loyalty is the most important, but a lot of times it's just not. Her needs are most important, or what she feels at that time. What she claims she wants a lot of times is completely opposite to where her actions go. So this is the next lie that you're probably fed or you're taught to believe. And what you have to do is you have to just be smarter than this. Okay, that's number 3.
All right, so yeah, bro, like that is just a straight up lie. That's a straight up lie on like a female's nature. That's like bro, just to see that listen, guys, I know that both genders lie, okay? I know that men are capable of lying. We understand that, but that's not what's happening here. These are basic dating preferences. And when it comes down to basic dating culture, basic dating talks, what's happening here is that when a woman says loyalty is most important to her, that is a straight up lie in the sense that she's literally going against her own psychological, biological nature. The truth is, women want to have sex with the men women are having sex with. That is why a small percentage of men since the beginning of time have ever procreated. All women want to do is share the man or men that are at the top of the food chain. They do not care about anything else. Let's break this down a little bit. Why is it that every woman in the world tuned in to the wedding of Prince Harry and that woman who I can't even freaking remember right now? Why is it that all the viewership on Earth went to that marriage and that wedding? Why did the women care so much? Why is it that you as a dude probably didn't even pay attention to that? Because you don't care. Because it doesn't even cross your mind. Women play with Barbies and men play with footballs. And the last damn thing I know any of you men cared about was Prince Harry getting married to, what was her name? Kate something, I think. And the reason why none of you cared is because you're normal and you're probably a straight dude if you're listening to this. Hopefully. But you got to understand, women are different. Women are sold a fairy tale princess dream live from Disney World as soon as they are little. They're taught to play with Barbies. They are taught to believe in Prince Charming. They are taught to believe that they are sugar spice everything nice, that they are the most special, most beautiful thing in the world, and that they deserve a princess-like wedding and a princess-like fairy tale. And because they believe so deeply in the fairy tale in the modern day, if you look at the viewership of Prince Harry getting married, he really is at the top of the masculine food chain. He is a real prince. He really has real money. He has generational wealth. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, however he wants. He is at the social top. Structurally, he's at the social top of class that you can possibly be. He's at the top of an empire. And because he's a real prince in real life, every woman tuned in to watch that because that actress who married him was living the dream of every single woman's dream. And when I tell you, every single woman would open up her legs to sit on Prince Harry in that moment, their biological makeup is showing you that that is the truth of their nature. Women's ovaries sync up with each other when they're around each other because women are a group being. They are a hive mind. When you ask a girl, what is she like? The next girl says, I like that too. I like that too. I like that too. I like that too. If you ask a girl what she doesn't like, the girl says, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Because they are a hive mind. They only care about what other people think about. Women only think about what the world is thinking about them. Women do not have the constitution to think for themselves or be their own being or rationalize their own thoughts. And even if they did, that's not what you want. You want a woman to be molded through you and what you're capable of bringing to the table. So when a woman is like something happened here. This had to be like marketing. Like, for example, breakfast. Breakfast is not actually a part of humans' natural consuming cycle, right? You're supposed to eat 2 meals a day, lunch, dinner, count calories. Breakfast is a marketing scheme. Breakfast is just a way to sell more meat. That's why it's called literally break fast, break from fasting, don't fast. Forget what the Bible says. Do what we want, eat more food, be more greedy, right? Or be more like, what is the word? Gluttonous, be more gluttonous, right? That's literally what that is. The diamond The diamond has no worth. I could be wrong about this, but Dantes, like in terms of like investing, you're aware that you can invest in silver and invest in gold and invest in like metals and stuff. Do you ever see anyone investing in diamonds? No. It's not a common thing to hear, right? And the reason why people don't invest in diamonds is because deep down, we all know diamonds have no real value because they're plentiful, because there's so many of them on the earth that diamonds don't matter. So diamonds became like a marketing thing for you to go throw all this money at, for you to go get on your knee and bow to the girl and beg for the government to come into a relationship with the two of you, which has no premise in the Bible whatsoever. That's not in there at all. That is all marketing. So you got to understand, up and down the Bible, men had their women. Like men, every king has their women and their concubines. Like men had women. This was normal. This is how you build kingdoms. You have to have your women doing this. So when a girl says something like loyalty is most important in the text of I want all the attention must be on me. You must now be my male servant. I am the one and the only. I am what you are to bow down to. I am what you are to only look at. This is absurdity, bro, because like that isn't what she actually wants. If that's what she freaking wants, date the mailman. The mailman would love to do that for you. But women choose Prince Harry at the top of the food chain. They just, that is, I could talk about that for a whole different podcast. Women are straight up lying in that context.
Yeah, because when they tell the truth, it makes them look bad. It's unattractive or it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable truth that makes women look bad when they tell you exactly what they want or what makes them aroused. And yeah, it's just a reality that we live in. That's what it is. So don't listen to what they say. Just listen to what they do or see what they do and go off of that.
Watch their behavior, bruh. Watch their behavior. Let's get that next point.
What she says she wants in a relationship, a lot of times her actions go the complete opposite. Number 4, the fourth lie that you have probably been told your whole life is that money doesn't matter. You might hear this. Oh, I don't care, how much money my man makes. This is what you're going to hear women say. This is a complete lie. Listen to me closely. Does money matter to get your foot in the door for that first date? No. Does money matter to even get laid? No. Can you attract and even retain women in a relationship for probably a duration of time where she's giving you a specific run rate to prove yourself, to show that over time you can make money? The answer is, of course. You're going to see guys all the time who don't make a lot of money, still have a great dating life. But this is what you have to understand. When she says money doesn't matter, this is a complete lie, and here's how I can prove this to you, and here's how you can start to see this. Money absolutely matters because of this one specific reason. Let a few women catch on to the fact that, let's say this guy over here is rich, or this guy over here has a really flourishing business, or this guy over here, he's a great real estate investor, and then all of a sudden he's perfect husband material. She catches wind of that financial situation. She catches wind that he's going somewhere in life. She catches wind that he's rich. She hears about this through the grapevine. She hears about this from her girlfriends or whatever. All of a sudden, he's the perfect husband material. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter that, maybe he has a little bit of extra weight on him or that jawline isn't where it's supposed to be. All of a sudden, oh, she'd love to have a future with him. That nice big house that he has, he's just a great man to live with, isn't he? This is what you're going to find. So money absolutely matters, okay? All of a sudden, that guy's the perfect husband, and this is what you have to understand about women. Status-driven hypergamy is real. Status-driven hypergamy is real. When she's looking at her future life setup, and if she was going to have kids with this guy, as she gets older, is she going to have a nice life? Is she going to take her 2 to 3 vacations per year on his dime or his paycheck and still be able to sleep soundly at night knowing that that mortgage is paid? Oh yeah, that sounds so appealing, doesn't it? That sounds so appealing, knowing that her life setup is just on point. This is what you have to understand. Status-driven hypergamy is real. Women, this is what you're going to find. Women will sleep with a man for a variety of reasons.
Make sure you follow us on 5-Star Livestream. We are all over these platforms, man. We need you to subscribe. Subscribe, get in here, get in the super chats, get in the live chats, get everywhere that you need to be. We're out here on Rumble. Let's go.
sex for a variety of reasons. She slept with this guy because he's hot. She slept with this guy because he's tall. She slept with this guy because he has good charm or good charisma. She slept with this guy because he has a big house. She slept with this guy because she's not even really attracted to him, but she knows that 2 of her friends slept with him, so now all of a sudden he's her type. This is women's behavior. Okay, and this is what you're going to find the more attractive you make yourself as a man, and the more dating options that you have access to, the more you're going to see that all of this plays out in the real world. So that's point number 4.
All right, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's a fact. I mean, if a woman says that she wants a guy with money, that just makes her look bad. So yeah, you gotta don't listen to what they say, listen to what they do. And it's like, in the same way you want a girl who doesn't have a high body count, the same way she wants a guy that has resources and that can take care of her and the kids. So it makes sense. So don't listen to that bullshit. And girls just want you to get it. And if you have to ask her if she cares about money, you just don't get it. So that doesn't make any sense.
And you got to be able to determine the womanese, bro. You got to be able to determine the fluffy language. Women don't say, I am a gold digger and I want
a guy with money. What do they actually say? They say, I want a guy with ambition. I want a guy who's driven. I want a guy who's a hustler. Yeah, I want to be a power couple. All of this is coded
language bullshit. Money. And look, if I didn't think it mattered, if I didn't think that money mattered for you guys, I wouldn't be doing videos on the Zeitgeist Addendum. If I didn't think money mattered for your ability to command a relationship, I wouldn't be bringing professionals on here talking about real estate and crypto and all the different resources that they're into, or like animal life or politician life or any of those things. I wouldn't be talking about this stuff if I didn't think that it was very important for you guys to establish yourself in a career. Shout out to the Clippers that we're bringing on the team, man. We're going to make sure that you guys get taken care of very well. So, like, you have to understand, it's like, in all honesty, it's not even bad for a woman to do that, but it can be done in a very bad way. Miami, right? So, like, it's not wrong at all you have to understand that love from women is conditional. They are not an unconditional being. They are very selfish, savage. I only care about me. I only care about my future. I only care about my resources type of being. And there's a couple of reasons for this. You got to understand, women cannot fight. And when it comes to money, never, ever, ever, ever listen to a woman's view of money. You have to be very much about your resources and how you're going to make money and how you're going to hustle. And like, women out there, we don't give a fuck about your money or your view on money or what you have to say about money ever, because like, her money is her money and your money is her money, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, look at how that guy Akash is being manipulated right now by exactly that logic shit. That girl knows, and that girl's speaking to the deeper proclivity of most women. But like, is it wrong for a woman to want to vet out if you have resources? Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Upon marriage, when marriage was a very beautiful thing and it was arranged, a man would be looking to pass off his daughter to a woman that had the resources to be able to wed that woman. So is it wrong for a woman to want or to choose a resourceful man? Not at all. No, it's really not. And you don't necessarily have to like show her your bank account, like how some of these disgusting 304s go on these podcasts and talk about how they make men do. And if you do that, you are an imp beyond all imp. Imp reasoning. It's incomprehensible, the level of IMP that you are. But like, she's trying to figure out her future with you, and I don't think that it's wrong for her to kind of like try to figure out that if she can have a future with you, if realistically. But at the same time, I do have this deeper hope for you guys, right? And I actually explained this in a meme, and this is a really good meme. You could just look it up, right? There's a meme where this guy says, you know, I don't have a car, and the girl says, I'll walk, right? It's the most beautiful, most romantic, most Let me see if I can find. I don't have a car. I'll walk. It's a beautiful, beautiful meme. It's a beautiful way to vet out if somebody really is down to do that struggle love with you, right? And they say that struggle love doesn't really exist anymore, but I like to believe that it is possible for you guys to come across something like this, right? The guy literally says, look, I don't have a car. Girl says, I'll walk, which is essentially implying that, like, she's down to go on the journey with you. You know, if I could choose a type of woman for you to vet for, a woman to look for, a woman to keep, a woman to say, you know what, I should probably think about giving my relationship attention to this person, it's a woman who acts like that. Because I'll tell you, ladies, a very special secret right now. If you want to keep a man, the woman who asks for nothing is the very same woman who gets everything. We do not care what you want. We don't care what you feel. We don't care what you say. We don't care why you said it. We don't care when you say it. We don't care how you say it. We don't want to hear you. Men are creating their world, and you need to find out whether you fit in it. So if you're going to cook for him, clean for him, be a part of his life, if you're going to be in there, if you're going to add value, if you're going to see yourself being a part of his world, you need to surrender to that man's world fully, just like you would if your father had handed you off to him. I mean, the worst thing that could happen in that scenario is like the man brings the woman back to the father and says, nah, I can't deal with this, bro. Like, nah, I can't. Back to the, like, at least he's bringing her back home. Like, in the real world, I'm telling you, I'll throw her ass in the streets. Get rid of this, bro. Woo! We going in today. I've literally done that, bro. I've literally been in a scenario where, like, the girl, like, turns on me or, like, acts up on me. I left the whole human being out on the streets of Miami. Just like that. Like, never looked back again. Do not put yourself in that scenario. Do not be that girl. Do not demand and be forceful. Like, for example, in it's very common in the modern day that the opposite of this meme would be very true. Like, the guy says, I don't have a car, and she'll be like, well, I'll just Uber. Yo, pitch me up, let's go.
Well, I'll just Uber, or Elon can send me a jet, or I can do anything. Do you know who I am? Do you know what I've accomplished? Do you know, like, the men that I've met? Do you know the circles that I've been in? Do you know what I'm capable of? Do you know who I am? Do you know what I command? Do you know my value? I can have anybody here and anything and do anything with any time with however I want. If you can't make this happen, I'm going to show you I'm better than you in so many ways.
Bruh, if you're dealing with that scumbag, enjoy that walk home alone. Enjoy the fact that you don't have a car, and enjoy the fact that you're not with her, because I can't even make that joke. And just enjoy the peace, because, like, you're gonna have a lot of peace without the woman. And the true mark of a woman that you keep is a woman who brings you peace.
1,000%. If she brings you peace, that is exactly what you want and where you need to be with her. That is it. All day, every day.
All day, every day. Let's get that next bullet point.
Number 5, when she says, I'll always love you. I'll always love you. I love you no matter what. I'll always love you. This is a complete lie, and here's why. What this actually means is, I'll love you if you keep performing the way that you currently are. I'll love you if you keep stimulating this exact feeling that you're making me feel right now. I love you based on how you make me feel right now in this moment, and if the current circumstances keep proving itself, and you keep proving that you can perform, you keep proving that you are who you say you are, you keep performing that you're strong and capable and competent, then I'll keep loving you. I'll always love you until I don't, is what this actually means. So what you're going to find, the more women that you date, or the more dating experiences that you have, is what she says, okay? She reserves the opportunity to change her mind at the drop of a dime when she wants. At the drop of a dime when she wants to change her mind, and she now reserves the opportunity to say, hey, you know, I don't feel the same way anymore, so it's over. And you're sitting there going, oh, but you told me that you love me forever. Doesn't matter. It's a false belief. It's a lie about love that you believed. And what you're going to find is that the more you buy into these lies, the worse your life becomes, because you start to actually mold your worldview and character identity based on things that are not true. That's point number 5. Point number 6, okay, is...
Damn, dog. So I'll break that down for you guys in a real, like, the principles of the earth and how it is and the way, what it is, right? Each and every one of you men are farmers, the way that God intended the earth to be. You are on the earth, you reap and till the land, you plant the seeds, you get the fruit, you get the vegetables, you provide food for the livestock. The livestock is ethically farmed. You eat your meat, you eat your vegetables, you eat your fruits. You are a farmer, something that is so easy for all of us men and women and people of the world to understand. Now, the actual farm might look different, but no matter what, as a man, you are still a farmer. Here at this podcast, we're digital farmers. If you're in sales, you're a sales farmer. If you sell cars, you're a car farmer. If you work on boats, you're a boat farmer. If you build satellites, talk to me. I'd like to see that. I've never seen it. If you build buildings, if you're an architect, you're an architectural farmer. How you do the farming is very unique to you. So let's say, like, you are a fast farmer, or let's say that you are a strategic farmer, or let's say that, like, you plant the carrots very methodically, or let's say that you plant the carrots very, like, whatever your personality traits are, right? Every man is going to be a little bit different in how they farm. Some men might be different in how they farm or similar in how they farm, but all of us men are planting the seeds and planting the seeds. Unfortunately, if you do it the wrong way and you don't listen to me and Tez, you might be planting seeds that never grow. But if you do listen to me and Tez, you're going to be planting seeds that are guaranteed to grow and guaranteed to fortify your life and fortify your future. Now, if you stop farming, if you stop planting those carrots, she literally can be like, my man is broken and non-operational. I might need to go away. So that brings into the question, well, don't you love me for me? Don't you love me for who I am? So that also it comes down to, like, another analogy, right? It's like, will a girl love a man? Like, a man loves a woman based on her past, right? But a woman loves a man based on his future. So if you ask a woman, hey, like, if Pablo over here is guaranteed to be a crackhead and a drug addict and he's not going to work anymore and you're going to take on the burden of work and you're going to take care of Pablo, do you love him? Is the feeling of love going to keep you two together? Are you capable of loving a man who no longer can provide the future to you? Do you love a man who will no longer be farming? That's why love is conditional, my guys. She is going to say, hell no. Remember that friend I told you not to worry about? He was an option the whole time. Ha-ha, deuces, peace out. I'm gone. That's exactly the truth about dating. That's exactly, like, if I love you always, I'll always love you for who you are was true, why are you guys here watching a dating podcast? Why do any dating podcasts exist? Why aren't you all with the first person who ever said those words to you? Because it's just not the reality of the situation. People don't, like, grow and change. That's all that. They're bunch of bullshit. If she's down with you for the journey, she's down with you for the journey. But if she's not, her hypergamous nature might be like, oh, well, I really like the way that he was planting the carrots, but now my hypergamous nature needs more carrots. So she might get, like, greedy. So she doesn't, like, have the mentality of, ask for nothing and get everything and watch this man build this world. And I will become the journey to this man's. I will be on his journey. I'll go, remember the Chris Train, Chris Tracks, Chris Destination. I'll be in his world and I'll watch what he builds and I will be a part of the fruits that he is reaping and I will add on to the abundance that is all to come of the land. She is probably going to, if you don't perform or if you're not performing at the way that she feels that she needs at that time, it's possible that the woman that you're talking to might be like, oh man, that other guy plants carrots way better and they're bigger and juicier. And I think I'm as valuable as those carrots over there. And her hypergamous nature could go to another farmer. And that is when you might really wake up to the transactional nature of females. She also reserves the right to be like, yeah, haha, lied to your ass, told you I loved you, but really, I'm in it for the material shit. I'm going to go somewhere else. Hypergamy. Watch her swing and monkey branch to the next guy.
Oh, yeah. And women are only loyal to one thing, and it's their emotions. So like he said, as long as you can make them feel that certain way, then it'll work out. She's going to love you forever. But at the moment you stop making her feel a certain way, it's over. That's the end of the relationship. So be the remote to her emotions.
Jesus, bro. Yeah, that one's a hard pill to swallow, bro. If you want to know more about love, I have a whole different thing about that. But like, in reality, you need to understand that for most people, on average, for the majority of how this stuff works, as a man, I would implore you to build yourself up, be the best of the best at what you do, be on top of your ish, be number one at all times. And when you're doing this and you're constantly building, the people who are meant to be with you will be with you, and the people who are not will just fall right off like they were nothing to begin with. And that will always keep you safe in terms of your worth and your value in dating and in relationships. Do not ever get off your path. And for women, I'd say if you find a man and he's showing you that he has his future all planned out, I would do everything I can to pick and stick to that man. Because if you're in a situation where a man has assigned relationship value to you, if you do give into your hypergamous nature, you're going to find that you're in the same cycle all over again with another man, because all men are exactly the same. And you're just going to get pumped and dumped and pumped and dumped and pumped and dumped on the hamster wheel of life until you finally die alone with cats like your stupid, insignificant, irrelevant, retarded, dumb as shit feelings led you to do anyway.
That's a fact. Let's keep watching the video.
If a woman tells you, I don't care how he performs in bed, this is also a complete lie, and here's why. This is to get you to drop your guard. This right here is completely to get you to drop your guard, and what you have to understand is who gave her that best experience in bed. She always thinks about and she always remembers. The guy who brings out real, raw, primal desire, she never forgets. This is what you have to understand.
I would say it's like having another person.
Yo, make sure that you follow us on all the social networks. Me and Tez are everywhere under the handle 5star. That's at 5 star STAR live stream. We are all over the internet, man. Let's go.
For all those feelings in the bedroom that she loves so much, she never forgets that. So if she ever says, hey, I don't care how you perform in bed, how you perform in bed and knowing what you're doing is even a direct representation and reflection of pre-selection, because it shows that you've been with other women and you know what you're doing. So this is what you have to remember, okay? What women value, even though they won't necessarily tell you this, is experience. They like to see that you know what you're doing, you're experienced in life, you're experienced in the bedroom, you're experienced in business, you're experienced with how the world works. And then the second you don't have that experience, they go and gravitate towards a more competent man. All while still simultaneously telling you that all those things don't matter and it's just about being a really nice, good guy. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's lie number 6.
Bruh. I've said this on the podcast before, but I actually have like a really good example of this. Anything you want to hit me with before?
Yeah, bro. Jump right into it, bro. Go crazy.
All right, let's go. All right. I don't care about how he performs in bed. first of all, I can't imagine a situation where you're having that type of topic come up. But let's say that you're a guy and this is floating in the scales of the ether in the negative bad way, and you've somehow caught on to this belief and it's in your head. And now you believe that you're operating in the dating sphere with women under the guise of, oh, I don't care how she's not going to care how I perform in bed. As long as I'm having good sex with her, it doesn't really matter. Bullshit. Let me give you a really good breakdown of this scenario, right? There's a show on Netflix called Sex Life. And I watched that show because of my red pill rage, mother frigger. It's never going to go away, right? So I'm out here truth seeking and trying to figure out what the propaganda machine of Netflix, shout out to you guys, is putting out into the world, right? But they're not lying with this show, Sex Life, at all. They are showing you reality of female nature, right? So this woman, she is deep into a marriage. She has it all. She has the white picket fence. She has friends. She has people that come over to her house for her status. She's married to a politician. They have kids together. Her life is remarkable. And the guy is loved by the community. He's a great politician. People love his policies. He is someone that people, women love, men respect, and most people admire, right? And in this scenario, while she's living a great life, literally just out of nowhere, some memories, some feelings arise of her past when she was having sex with this Australian guy who was kind of a badass, wear leather jackets, and owned a record label, a real record label with real artists who really did real cool things in the real world that really made real differences with their songs. And she would just fade back into the fantasies of the brutal, hardcore, insane sex that they would have. So now you see her start to compartmentalize what the men are for. This man provides safety. This man provides sexual pleasure. This man provides food. This guy is a guy I can go to dinner with. I can put all these different men in different compartmentalizations, right? And she's really, for the sake of the show, she's really doing this with two guys. The one that's safety and security, because she's a piece of shit that deserves to burn in hell. And the other one who is completely her sexual fantasy, and she needs that raw experience. She needs to feel dominated. She needs to feel masculinity. She needs to feel her alpha imprint back inside her soul. She needs her guts to be drilled in. And because she's absolute human waste of garbage, in the show, she decides to, I don't remember exactly if like she went and pursued the guy or if she kind of like was in a situation where she bumped into him and like feelings arose or whatever. But whatever it was, she made sure that she was in a situation where she could have that back and forth drama of like, I'm going to go have sex with this guy. And it caused like all of this turmoil because the guy eventually finds out, and then it breaks apart the family. And then while she's breaking apart the family, she doesn't really care that her actions are doing one thing, but she feels in an entirely another way, right? Like she feels torn between the physicality of needing that, but she feels like, oh no, my home and family and kids and everything is being destroyed, but her actions don't really show that she cares. You know what I mean? But the narration of the show is kind of painting her as the victim of the situation, even though she caused it, which shows you the delusional fantasy world that women get to be in, because women have no consequences for their actions. If they decide to say, well, he's not stimulating me enough, they can do that. If they just say, well, he's giving me money and stuff, but I needed to feel this way. I needed to feel my growth. I needed to feel my journey. I needed to be in a phase. I needed to go find myself. All of this is brainwash propaganda BS, because What is she doing? She's prioritizing her feelings, which don't matter. She's prioritizing herself, which is absolutely an abomination against God himself. She does not need to prioritize herself. She needs to prioritize the structure, the umbrella that I keep talking to you guys about. God, husband, wife, children. God, man, women, children, right? She didn't prioritize any of that. She prioritized her desires, and in doing so, it really comes down to what Casey was just saying. She absolutely cared about how this politician was performing in bed, and the way that he would have sex with her was just like, missionary, under the blankets, turn off the lights, little humpy, a little fucky. And that was it. That was her sexual experience. But when homeboy was like dogging her out, whips and chains, sex in pools, swinging from this and swinging from that, it really mattered to her.
Yeah, I watched that too, and I want to say she was getting with a dude who like he like couldn't commit to her because like he was having like his dad or something in his past, so he would like, I want to say that was the show. But I remember like she would like write letters and stuff and like fantasize, and yeah, I remember that. But yeah, that was good, and that shows why you want a girl with no experience, because if you're not able to satisfy all her needs and another dude was, she's gonna be comparing you, and you're not able to ever fill that void, and she's just gonna go back to that guy just like she did in that movie. So that's why you want to get him with no experience, as minimum experience as possible, because you're up against that kind of shit. So
it's an evil world we live in. All right, let's see the next point. Let's go.
Number 7, okay? I don't text message anybody else but you. Listen to me closely. If you went in to that cell phone and you saw her messages, her screenshots between her friends, her direct messages that she's receiving, you probably would not be able to sleep for an entire week. Majority of women that you're dating, especially if they are attractive, you have to understand just how many men they are occupying or entertaining small conversation with here and there to strategically optimize hypergamy. All while convincing all 10 or all 20 of those men that they're slowly texting or talking to back and forth on different dating apps and whatnot, all while she still simultaneously is attempting to convince you that you're the only guy that she talks to and you're the only guy she's seeing and you're the only guy that she cares about. This is how women optimize hypergamy to find the best fit for them in that exact moment. And the second she feels that you're not that best fit and she could go elsewhere, and that other guy has a better opportunity for her for what she's wanting in that exact moment, her emotions work in his favor and not yours. Number 8.
That's a dark one. That's very dark, bro. Let me make it very clear for you gentlemen. If you're giving the girl any sort of relationship attention, and she said even hello to a male, anyone with a male gender, she's on the streets. It is done. It is over. Your woman may speak to no man outside yourself ever at all. This is very important. This is why I say what I say about how to set up, you got to wipe her experience. It's got to be digitally clean. You have to be able to know that she's someone that's capable of that. You have to be able to know that, I see this stuff. Before I moved to Miami and stuff, I saw that stuff all the time, bro. Like, it'll be like this, right? It'll be like a girl and she's got like the boyfriend, and the boyfriend's hanging out with like 2 other dudes, and she's like the girl of the group, and she's like feels safe and secure because she's got like the guys around her and stuff, and she hasn't had any boundaries put on her, no restrictions, nothing. And she's just, yeah, I'm talking to my guys from high school and college and work and colleague. I'm talking to them, and she's texting them and talking to them. You have to understand, all attention, any attention a woman is getting is against her best interest. Any attention that a woman is getting is cheating on you. Any conversation that a woman is having with a male is the same as you walking in to her getting penetrated by a whole other guy. A woman can absolutely have no conversation with any other man. And, you know, like, women are weird about shit these days, too. Women, like, it's Instagram, bro. The stories, the likes, the comments. Like, you gotta monitor all that shit. I've seen girls, like, leave little comments when they're in a relationship on another guy's page just to kind of, like, give that guy the idea that they can be fucking. And, you know, it's a really dark game. You know, actually, it reminds me of this whole meme, no, not meme, but a TikTok that's out there, right? Where this guy is, like, wrapping his arm around this girl, and you can tell he loves the girl. Like, all his romance is in it because men are the romantic gender, and he's got his arm around the girl. And this YouTuber comes up and says, "Hey, man, if you had a pass, would you sleep with anyone that you could?" And like a cuck, he was like, "No, man, this girl's the only girl for me, and I love her so much." And look, it's good to love your women. It absolutely is. It's good to have a woman that you care about, but you need to understand how to vet a girl for her to be in that position, because if you give your relationship attention to the wrong girl, here's what happened in this scenario, right? So the guy, he's just told the YouTuber, the podcaster, whatever, like, "Nah, man, this one is mine. This one is for me. I'm proud of this catch. I hunted, I caught it. This is mine. I'm giving her everything." And then he asked the girl, like, "Yo, if you had a celebrity pass, you know what I'm saying? Like, would you have sex with anybody?" And she's like, "Hell yeah, I would. I'm talking about Antoine Davis, Anthony Brown."
I'm talking about this guy who's an athlete. I would wear his jersey. And
Homeboy's like, "What?" That's like, you could see his heart breaking right there. His heart broke, and he was under such shock. He couldn't perceive how she is with him, using him as a placeholder boyfriend accessory. And she's out here ready to be dicked down by the very same athletes that I just told you all the women would love to be sharing, because it's in their nature, and they're very overt about it if you ask them. She can speak to absolutely nobody. If your girl is texting another man, to the streets she shall return.
She's texting another man, it's over. It's over. She's fantasizing about a celebrity, NFL player, athlete, it's over. So just find a new girl, wrap it up, throw the towel in, go figure some new shit out, because it's over at that point.
Yeah, no, anything, any adoration, like for example, if she's walking around and she's like a fan of Tom Brady, and she's wearing a Tom Brady jersey and it says Brady on the back of the jersey, she's wearing that shit, and your name isn't Tom Brady, you got a problem. If she is, if the gender is male and the attention isn't on you, dead that shit. It's a problem.
1000%.
The eighth lie that you're going to hear is this. If you hear a woman say something like, "I don't care if I'm with a man because I'm independent and I make my own money," this once again is a complete lie, and it does not matter. It doesn't matter, and here's why. It doesn't matter if she says this, because the truth is she still wants a man, and I can show this to you. Let's say she is rich. Let's say this woman has $10 million. Deep down, she still wishes that she was with a man who had 11. She still wishes that she was with a man who had $11 million and satisfied hypergamy and just had a little bit more status or provisioning or protection or business acumen or something in this specific category that let her emotions work in his favor, so that way she could respect him. If she has $10 million, she wants a man who has 11. Listen, hypergamy is a feeling, and she wants to feel provided for and taken care of. She is going to want to feel provided for. She's going to want to feel taken care of. And the second you don't do that, even if she's rich, even if she's independent, her emotions gravitate towards somebody else because she's still longing for that masculinity. Keep that in mind. That is point number 8. Point number 9.
Bruh. Tez, bro, I know you've seen it, bro. When a man is lacking in any area of masculinity, that girl will find that masculinity in a whole other guy. Right? So like, let's reverse the scenario a little bit. And I love this example. Right? Okay. I'm an independent girl. I have my own money. I'm wealthy. So blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. BS, right? Now let's lay out some brass tacks. Women love men with money. That's just who they are. So let's say that there's a guy. He's young, rich, tall, dark, handsome, over 6 foot, has 6 foot dick, has six pack. He's got it all, right? And he's like a billionaire. And he's a cool dude. He's got the Corvette. He's an action guy. He's a badass. He's a bad boy, right? Women will line up for that guy. It's just facts, right? Women will line up for that man, especially if he conveys a very good social media presence. They're gonna be like, oh man, he's got it going on the internet and in real life. These are high attraction signals to me. My female brain wants this. Okay. Men and women are very different. Let's talk about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire. How bad do you want to fuck Oprah Winfrey?
0 donut.
Okay. Interesting. You don't give a shit about her money at all, do you? Do you want to take advice from Oprah Winfrey?
I don't care.
Do you want to hear any of the stories she has to tell you?
Don't care.
Is there any experience that she's ever gone through that you would love to listen to?
I don't care.
Don't give a flying fuck, right? Not only do we not care, are there men lining up to have sex with this billionaire woman? We don't want to hear you. We don't care. We don't give a shit about anything that you have to say at all. So please, women, you need to understand that. We really don't give a fuck. 1. 2, when it comes down to it, even at Oprah Winfrey's level, this is female nature. It is in their nature. And I'm not saying that this is wrong. I'm not saying that this is bad. But I guarantee you, we all know, like if you guys remember, Oprah was famously dating a guy named Stedman at the time. And we all know Stedman was like her boy toy, her accessory, her purse, just some male she could put on her arm. But Stedman was no billionaire. And the only woman that, or like the only man that a woman like Oprah Winfrey could have any remote attraction to in real brass tacks would be like Prince Harry or Elon Musk. And I'm not necessarily a fan of either one of those people. I'm just giving you like what it is, right? She is a billionaire. She wants the guy to have $1,000,001,000. She's a billionaire. She wants the guy to be a trillionaire, right? It's just like, this is female nature. So now that you know that, it might not be in your best interest as a guy to be like Aladdin to Jasmine. This is a Disney fairy tale, you know? It might not be in your best interest to be an up-and-coming guy and date a wealthy woman. It might be in your best interest to get her pregnant. But it might not be in your best interest to formulate a real long-term relationship with her because she just can't take you serious. In fact, there is a movie with Emily Ratajkowski, and she was in this movie where she like hooked up with this guy, and this guy was like a greaser. He was like this cool badass guy. And he's like this dude from the streets and shit. And it's like a 80s retro style movie, which is like, is a cool draw, right? So look it up. Emily Ratajkowski, she's in it, and like some other dudes in it. It's an 80s style film. It's kind of like the movie Drive, but like a different like version of that. And she sleeps with this guy, and then he eventually, in pursuing her, goes and finds her with all her friends and stuff and brings her to his side of the streets, and then they all pay with cash, and they're all used to paying the diner with cash, and she puts down a credit card. And when she puts down the credit card, all of the dudes were like, what is this? What is this thing? They were like losing their shit over what that was and what it symbolized and what it meant in that context. And what it meant is that she comes from money, and she's on top of her money, and she's financially stable while they're all still coming up. So as you can imagine, that relationship did not work out. There was no true love in it. I don't even remember what the point of the movie was. See, the movie is like, it's cool to watch and it's fun, but like the story didn't even freaking matter. because there was no, remember, this is Hollywood. Hollywood does Hollywood things. We're giving you the real sauce on how to have like real love, real relationship, real structure, we're trying to we are pushing traditional values into your like purview so you can take the best of it and make the best of it with what we've got in 2025. And yeah, like I said, man, if she is worth $11 million and she's an aristocrat out here in West Palm Beach, Florida, and you are coming out of Opalaka and you haven't got your stuff together yet, but you guys are liking each other and having sex with each other and you're cool with each other and you really like each other, that might unfortunately be a temporary thing, as if you as a dude can't be worth $15 million very, very within her timeline.
For sure, definitely. She's out of there if you can't out-earn her, for definitely.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Passport bros. You know what time it is. Different status. We up.
When she says, hey, you can open up and you can tell me anything. You can tell me anything. You can tell me anything. You can open up, you can be vulnerable, you can tell me anything. Listen, this is so you run your big mouth and you talk your way out of any interest that she originally had in you. Any interest that she initially had in you that you built, now you talk your way out of that because you've revealed too much. You didn't need to say that extra sentence. You don't need to tell her how you feel in this situation. You don't need to tell her what you were thinking. The sentences that you're saying, the things that you're showing, you didn't need to say any of that. It was extra fluff. It was extra filler. You didn't need to reveal all this extra stuff. But because you believed her, now all of a sudden she questions your value. That is point number 9. And point number 10, when she tells you...
Yeah, bruh.
I'll touch on that. Like, the over-explaining yourself, it's never good in any situation, whether dealing with the woman or coworkers or friends. That means you're needing validation, which lowers your value. So don't give them any explanation, just because that means that you don't care whether or not they accept you or not. So don't be over-explaining yourself, especially with women.
And I'll give you guys the full breakdown on how you're falling for this trap, because she is a horrible human being and she set a trap and she gave you a trap and you're falling into a trap because she's testing you, which is, again, as a guy, I think you should be extremely offended, or you should be extremely upset, or you should be extremely mad if she's testing you, blah, 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 whatever, right? So now she's setting a trap and you're falling into it, right? And let's talk about how you fell into this trap. You have been trolled. Real masculinity is femininity. Real masculinity is being in touch with your feminine side. It's like an oxymoron. And to fall into that belief, you've now been indoctrinated into a trap. So let's talk about this in two different senses, right? Remember earlier when I said that you are a farmer and you're a carrot farmer and you're farming the land and you're going up and down the land and you're providing and you're building and you're provisioning. And then she says, tell me anything. Tell me your deepest, darkest fears, or like things that like are going on in your life. And you start saying things like, well, I don't think I'll ever become what my dad wanted me to be. And, you know, I think maybe I should be wearing dresses and I should be wearing high heels. No, you know what? I want you to say all that stuff. Let's see what happens, bro. No, like let's go further into this, right? You start like conveying like a lot of weakness, right? Like you could start saying like, yeah, and you know that guy across the street, the other farmer guy, I think he's like tougher than me, and you know I was bullied so much that I don't really see a future for myself. And you just start conveying all this shit. She's not gonna look at you and then lift you up. You know what I mean? She's not gonna look at you and be like, oh man, let me provide the sympathy that you need, or oh, let me be your physician, or for all that you've conveyed in me, I am now going to show you respect and honor, and I'm going to now come at you with a level playing field and push you forward. Women do not do that. Men do that. In fact, an entire woman who was a feminist killed herself over the fact of how cruel women are. So there's a feminist who, remember, feminism is like a full-blown religion. So a woman who is a feminist went to go find out how terrible and vicious and evil men were. So she dresses up as a man and she identifies as a man and she convinces people that she's a man. She goes and she plays a game of bowling with men. And when she was unable to bowl, the men were very like kind to her as a him, and they were reciprocal, and they were teaching, and they were like very much like, here, let me show you how, and they were very warm, right? Then her experience was like, wow, dudes really mess with me. Dudes really are trying to help out. Dudes really care. Feminism is a lie. So then she goes as a man and starts dating women. Women treat her horribly to the point that she kills herself. That's how horrible and vicious the nature of women is. Women cannot handle women's nature. Most women don't want to be friends with women because they feel as if women are so catty that they don't want to be around women, because women cannot govern themselves. They don't do it. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. Women are to be chosen by men. Women are an extension of men. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Women are a complement to men. Now, that was part one of this example that I'm giving you with the carrots, right? You are a farmer, then you're telling her you're really a bitch farmer. She is going to be unattracted to that because you're an idiot for saying these things because you were told to be a feminist, a feminine biatch. Part two to this, Bible, Samson and Delilah. Samson has the most strength that's ever been given to a man. Basically, Hercules stories are based off Samson. So Samson has been given all this strength by God, and the secret to Samson's strength is in his hair, which on a whole other note, hair being long apparently is an important thing. You know, I guess it like helps you connect in prayer deeper. Or Jesus had long hair, blah blah blah. Here we are. Let's keep moving forward, right? Or apparently like slaves have short hair, so like that's like a whole other topic to get into. Look into it. So then Delilah is someone Samson is taking a romantic interest in, but Samson doesn't know Delilah is an op. And Delilah works for these three other priests who hate Samson and want to kill Samson and want to destroy Samson. And Samson starts making love to Delilah, and they're in there. And Samson starts pillow talking, which means oversharing about who he is and what he does. And what he does is he puts out all this information about who he is, and he gives the woman all the information. And as soon as that woman has information on him, women are horrible people with information. Women are horrible people with power, because once a woman has information or has perceived power, the first thing that they do with power is abuse, manipulate, and destroy with that power. Let's talk about abortion. Women have the power to choose whether or not babies are born. What they do, they kill the babies with their own choice, to the point that we've now had an abortion genocide of human beings that never made it to earth, because women with their own choices and their own powers do evil things. Women, without the guidance of men, are horrible people. They just are. So Samson tells Delilah that like all this power's in my hair, so as soon as he falls asleep, she cuts his hair. The dudes come and stab him blind. Samson's life is pretty much over after this, and then he like ends it all in one big dramatic fiasco of pulling down two towers and ending his own life in this purposeless fight because he told her anything. To Casey Zander's point.
Don't be giving up, letting her know the ins and outs of everything. Then you're no longer a mystery, and she has you figured out, and it's over at that point, and she's gonna take advantage of it. She's gonna abuse the power. That's what women do. That's what people do in general, abuse power. So don't do it.
Which is why I say you are very early on in the relationship. If you have a woman, you need to let her know what it is. You need to say like, look, you follow my lead. And that's it. You do what I say when I say. You listen to me. You follow my lead. You have trust in the fact that like, if you're coming into this man's world, that the world that's being built for you is going to be prosperous for you if you follow the journey. Right? If you follow that journey, that is the only way that you're going to procure the relationship that you want. But as a man, you are literally bound to show. You and me talked about this on like the first podcast we ever did. It's better to show love than to say I love you. It's better to never say I love you and to just show it.
1000%. Actions speak louder than words. Definitely.
Facts. What's the next one? Let's go.
He's just a friend. Oh, don't worry, I can text message him all day. He's just a friend. Don't worry, we talk on the phone from time to time. He's just a friend. Listen to me closely. At that point, you're better off just quit talking to her completely, Because what you have to understand about this situation is she has the internal strength and confidence to tell you that in the first place because she thinks you're low SMV. She thinks that you have low sexual market value and she feels like you could not replace her. So she feels like you'll put up with anything. So she's just going to do what she wants and convince you that he's just a friend. When in reality, you know that it's probably not true, but you choose to believe the lies anyways. If you like this video, take this a step further. Join us inside the community that I built for you so that way I can help you learn, understand, and master the language of women.
He's just a friend. A shoulder to cry on turned into a dick to ride on. So do not ever believe that fucking he's just a friend shit. And that is a great point that he just fucking made is girls know who to play that shit with. He's just a friend shit and who not. So don't. Guys are always going to be looking for that moment. Her guy friend is always looking for that moment to make it happen to where she's vulnerable. So if she's saying he's just a friend, Casey's right. She thinks you're a fucking ham, turkey, bologna sandwich, and she thinks she can get away with everything. So don't be that fucking guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, she wrapped you around her finger. Bro, this is... Yo, my boy, if you're in this position, my dude, you are on the lowest of the totem pole, my guy. Like, all right, look, man. This girl wrapped you around her finger, and you enjoy the attention of the female experience. You enjoy the girl like hanging out with you and stuff, and like you just literally like looking at her and being around her, but you're not having sex with her. So now you're her friend, and there's like that unspoken tension, and then you are like, you're being the boyfriend, right? So like you're being the boyfriend, you're being her boyfriend without sex. What? So you're giving her, the protection by virtue of being a man. You're giving her the male energy, which is what she wants, which is what she lives for. And you're her shoulder to cry on. You're her friend, bruh. You're being female harvested. Like, this girl found that you are a weaker male, and if you're getting this message, that's exactly what you are. She found out that you're a weaker male and you're more malleable and you're more like, you got to understand that a woman's modern day existence is ruled by manipulation, and she cannot like fight you, right? You need to understand she's a woman, so she can manipulate you with her sexuality. She can manipulate you with her beauty. She can manipulate you with her charms. And if you're falling for this and you're being manipulated by this just because you are hunting in the worst way possible, which is hiding your dick, and that's what that is. That's called hiding your dick, right? Like, if you're not, man, I'm gonna give you guys the real sauce. Look, if I would much rather you be like me, who like even to Fresh and Fit, even to fucking Myron and Fresh, they will literally see me as a dude who wears my dick on my shoulder, like on my sleeve. Like, I walk out here, like, I'm telling you who I am. I'm out here, I'm fucking, I like multiple women. It is what it is. I am who I am. You guys have fucking known me. You've seen me out here rocking shit with Matchmaker. Y'all see me putting out, like I am who the fuck I am. Like, I put it out there. Like, I live by it. I say it, I speak it, and I live it, right? So because I'm so forward with who I am, people will respect me as who I am, for better or for worse. You like me or you don't. I don't freaking care. I'd much rather you adopt that mentality than to hunt in the worst way that a male can hunt, which is to do the exact opposite of that, which is to hide your dick, which is to tuck your tail in between your legs and have conversations with the woman to the point where the woman says something that's the stupidest thing ever, like, oh, he's just a friend. Oh, for whatever reason, he would never consider my boobs and my vagina and my butt. No. We're friends. And we have conversations, and he would, bro, it's all a farce. The girl knows deep down this is a lie. She knows that she's getting male attention, and you unfortunately might not understand that your mating strategy is being used in a bad way, because what you're doing is you're letting her talk to you, and you're letting her bond with you, and you're letting her have this experience with you, and you're being drained of your male resources because you're hiding your dick and you're playing the game for the long term. Now you're long term hunting. I would much rather you disqualify the girl early. Like, hey, yo, we fucking or not? Like, is we fucking or is we not? Like, I need to know this shit now. I need to figure this shit out in the first 5 minutes of meeting you. Do you like me? Is we fucking? That's what you need to understand quickly. Quickly. I don't give a shit if it takes 5 minutes. I don't give a shit if it takes a day, a week. Don't go longer than a week. Like, what are you doing that for? There's a billion, what is it, like 4.5 billion? There's more women on the earth than men. There's so much more women, and a new girl turns 18 every single day. Why are you waiting? What are you doing? If you're playing the long game for one girl, your male sexuality is being abused and used against you, that you are a bigger cuck than P. Diddy. Like, literally, you're the cuckiest cuck of all cucks to play the long game at all. You got to understand, these girls are giving it up to a bunch of dudes that they don't care about. They're giving it up to a bunch of dudes that they don't respect. They're giving it up to a bunch of dudes that they are not in a relationship with. They're giving it up to dudes that they know that they're not going to be in a relationship with. And, you know, girls in general have this thing called girl math that you could just look up on TikTok. Type in girl math. And a girl, because they are extremely dumb, will put men in a relationship category like this. They're very, very dumb with dating. Like, girls are the dumb, like, pound for pound, the dumbest on earth when it comes to dating. A girl will say, well, yeah, I want to have sex with
the guy who is completely gonna pump me and dump me. I want to have sex with the bad boy. I'll have a one-night stand, or I'll have sex with the guy who's gonna throw me away. But if a man wants to be my boyfriend, if he wants to be my man, wants to be my husband, if I can sense a relationship coming, I'm gonna make him wait.
And if I make him
wait, that's gonna make him want me more. So I will make the man that I actually want wait for my vagina. But the guy who doesn't want me, I'm giving it to him immediately.
Bruh, yo, excellent timing, producer Billy. Like, just this inverted, demonic, satanic beast of a woman that you're dealing with is like the most, this dating strategy, the woman treating you like this, if you're dealing with this, you're dealing with the most evil Jezebel on earth, bro. Like, this logic, this reasoning, this way of existing, this is dating warfare, bro. This is so, you need to be like, if you're not red pill raging over that I like concept, you need to be calmly very upset about this. Like, you need to be like enraged. I want your blood boiling over the fact that this happens, because we know you are not her friend. We know that if she called you up and said, hey man, I'm going to like this festival and I'd love you to be there, I know that you would run and jump at the behest of this woman just to spend time with this woman. You know what this actually reminds me of? I'm gonna tell you this shit real quick, right? This girl put out a Facebook post when I was in college, right? And it went viral. She said, this guy has taken me on horseback riding adventures and the best of trips that I've ever seen, and he's taken me to the most extravagant dinners, and he is by far one of the best friends that you could ever have in your life. And this dude is taking a picture with the girl and he's holding her just like it's a girlfriend, and she's writing this post about what a great friend that he is, and all the comments are like, brother's trying real hard, man. He in the friend zone so bad. Like, he's trying harder than anyone I've ever seen for someone that absolutely don't care about him. And if you end up in that situation at all, you are the softest guy what happened to you. You ever seen Rocky, like that Rocky movie where like Rocky's yelling at his son? if you do watch that movie, right, it's a great scene, and I would love, and that kind of segues into something me and Tez are about to do very soon. Stay tuned. That Rocky movie, it really talks to this moment a lot, because Rocky says to his son, "You know what you are, son? You let everybody tell you who you are, not how I raised you. You let the world point its finger in your face, and you adapted to what the world wanted you to be. You don't even know who you are. You don't even know what you're fighting for. You don't," like, he's just going in, giving him, like, you became what the world wanted you to be, to the point where it destroyed whatever you could have been as a man. And if you are a guy in a friend zone like this, you went to the public school and you let them feminize you. You watch Jason Momoa, the guy who plays Aquaman, say, "Yeah, man, I'm in touch with my feminine side. Look at me. I'm a girl dad. I'm going to put pink bows in my hair, and it's cool if I wear nail polish. It's so cool for me to be this gigantic muscular guy and show you my feminine side. Isn't that just the coolest thing ever?" You looked at that. You saw him getting claps in the audience. Your parents or the people around you were saying, "Yeah, man, getting in touch with your feminine side is cool." And then you believed it to the point where you're now afraid. You're really, truly not brave. You're truly afraid to say, "Hey, I'm just like every other guy, and I want to have sex with a bunch of girls, and I like the variety pack, and I need the variety pack, and I need to get out here and plant my seed, and I need to make sure that I pump as many babies as I can and as many women as I can, because I got to be fruitful and multiply, and I love having women, and I want to be good to girls, and I want to enjoy this girl, and I want to get to fucking immediately. And I need to know if we fucking soon." You are afraid to be a man. You're afraid to be disliked. You're afraid to use your internal wiring. You're afraid to use your hard wiring. You're afraid to speak to who you are, and you're repressing it. And when you repress it, you're dying on the inside. You are literally like self-sabotaging, you're self-killing. You're killing yourself, just like as if I said in the beginning, like letting a woman lead, letting a woman have any input on like the decision. Like, she's like 32% the CEO and you're 78% the CEO, bro. No, 100-0 all the way. You cannot be a friend and a leader. You have to make the choice of telling this girl, like, "Hey, look," and bro, this, I have a whole list story. I can't even get into it right now, but you have to be able to say, like, "Look, Emily, sweetheart, is we fucking or not?" like, listen, girl, look, it's cool that you coming and hanging out with me and shit, but if you around this guy, like, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to make me understand what the fuck is we doing, girl. You have to be able to look her in the face, tell her what it is, let her come into your world, or let her dismiss herself. Is she walking out the door, or is she coming to you for some more? You need to be in abundance.
You have to. That's the only way to have a relationship and have a healthy one, to where you guys succeed and reach a higher place together, and doing it that way.
Respect.
But yeah.
Is that it for Casey?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we gave him some fucking heat with that. So yeah, that's it.
Bro, I didn't even know we were at the end of that video, but yo, like, that was like, again, yo, Casey Zander, bro, I'd love to see you on this show, man. It'd be cool to like chop it up with you. Is he out here in Florida?
No, I think he's in Arizona. I think he's in Arizona, Nevada. Or,
shout outs. Know what I'm saying?
Gotta link up sometime. Yeah, but we'll figure that out. Yeah.
Bro, if you ever want to do a Zoom call, you ever want to come on the podcast, you ever want to collaborate, we're up and coming. We're having a blast being out here. I think that you put out great content. I was telling Tez, like, I was introduced to your content through Tez, and I think that the way that you lay out your organized your Blackboard like breakdowns of this space is a really good way to lay out a lot of knowledge for a lot of men that have a lot of struggle in this area. And it's important that we fight this fight together. It's important that we are uprising against this war and this agenda against men and women coming together. We need as many allies as we can. We need as many people as we can to come and combat in this space, to bring people together. We need population. We need procreation. I was actually talking to Tez about a plan that I had for all the people to procreate at the same time. It was funny because we have these conversations in hopes that we're going to make a stronger America by serving we the people and procreating and not being outpopulated. And we hope the best for you guys in pursuing a relationship. And listen, man, use social media for what it's for. You know, if it's disconnecting all of us, fight it back. Use these 5-star videos to start dating in the comments. Start like talking to each other. If you're guys and girls watching, date in the YouTube comments, date in the Instagram comments. Start fighting back against the agenda with the intent of loving one another and coming to relationships with one another. Use this information for good. Stop making it into a war. Start taking relationships serious. The women start looking for guys and say, you know what? I need a relationship. I got to stop devaluing myself. Guys, start saying, I need to become somebody so I can have a relationship and really value myself and let this woman be a compliment to my life. Really fight back by falling in love with the right people. I really want you guys to fight to do this shit. Get it?
Yes, fucking sir. Some fire, some heat today. Brought it to you live and gave you some fire ass heat. So let's get it. We out here.
Let's go.